that we are looking for in that incident was a black Infiniti sedan. Right now we think that it was occupied by one, maybe two people, but we are trying to look for that vehicle and identify who those subjects were. So those investigations are ongoing. If anybody that did not report their vehicle being broken into, they can feel free to call 911, and we can add them to those incident reports as well. Today, just like every other Thursday that we do, we have a 9 p.m. routine that we do put out on all of our social media accounts. The 9 p.m. routine is a national campaign. It's something that we've been doing for the last couple of years, but it has been ongoing for other agencies. It's really just a friendly reminder to lock up your vehicles, take your keys out of your vehicles, don't leave anything out in plain view that somebody could see that looks valuable. Area. It's just a friendly way of trying to.
Can I just interrupt? So we're sharing frequencies on the mic with somebody, so mine's totally breaking up. I'm breaking up with you.
No, you're fine. All right. Yeah. So, pick up where I left off here. So yeah, so we completely understand that mistakes could happen, right? But we just don't want people to have that common occurrence that they keep leaving their vehicles unlocked, so they keep leaving property out in the open. So really, we're just trying to always put that out there. So we want people in their community to follow all of our social media accounts. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter. That way they can get up to the moment information on different types of trends and what we're seeing from within the police department. One thing I will want to acknowledge is that our auto theft task force is something that Chief Boyce had made a permanent squad recently this last spring, and they've done an incredible job at limiting the motor vehicle thefts in Raleigh. One thing that, in talking to them, that they've noticed is that a lot of stolen vehicles are being used to commit crimes in Raleigh. That is something that, as we're seeing throughout the year, the motor vehicle theft percentage going down compared to last year. We're also seeing a decrease in larcenies from motor vehicles. We're seeing a decrease in residential burglaries. So we want to continue to keep that trend going. So we want to also make sure that the motor vehicle theft trend is also going down. I do want to point out our Crime Stoppers. If anybody does happen to see anything or happens to know who the suspect was that broke into these vehicles at these churches, that phone number is 919-996-3335, or they can visit Crime Stoppers at RaleighCrimeStoppers.org. At this point, I'm going to take some questions. If you guys have anything you want to ask.
Question. Do you have a description or damage report of the cars that were broken into, or how much money worth was taken?
Yeah, so out of all the vehicles that were broken into, it was very quick, right? I don't want to speculate on what was being targeted, but the windows were smashed out of the vehicles. Some vehicles were left unlocked where they were able to access the vehicles, but they weren't spending a lot of time in the vehicles. They would just move on to the next one.
What areas are prone to these car break-ins?
So right now, we just want to make sure that the entire community is being vigilant, right, and protecting their property. Business owners, the places of worship, the people that are going to these churches, they know who's supposed to be there and who's not supposed to be there, right? So any types of tips that when they get there and they see somebody backed into a parking spot, they're not getting out, they're just kind of watching people go in and out of the church. That should be a clue, right? Call 911, let us come out there and at least address and make contact with that person.
What does it say to you about these thieves targeting churches?
Yeah, I mean, so honestly, churches, because they're going to have everything's going to be public, right? Their hours of worship are going to be public. So criminals are going to know exactly when people are arriving, when people are leaving, and when they're coming back. All right, so there's a solid window of that opportunity for them to make access into these vehicles.
Is there anything RPD is doing to maybe team up with other agencies, maybe Apex or Northville, some other neighboring towns, to see if there's maybe a pattern or if we're looking for the same kind of person?
Yeah, so we're always working with our external partners, other agencies, whether that's Durham, whether that's Apex or Morrisville, and we're sharing information, right? So we're working together.
How many churches, how many vehicles are we talking?
So we're talking right now reported at 5 different churches, and that's going to be Our Lady of Lourdes, Southbridge, Summit on Blue Ridge Road, Highland United, and Providence.
And are there specific vehicles that you feel like they're going more towards than others, or is it just random?
So, in looking across the numbers throughout the year, we do see an uptick where suspect or criminals are targeting pickup trucks. Odds are they're trying to find weapons, something that's easy to access, because criminals aren't going to be able to purchase firearms on their own, right? So this is the easiest way that they can possess those things and commit further offenses.
Do you have like a number of guns that were stolen in this spree?
I do not have that number with me. I could get back to you on that one though.
When somebody calls and says their car's been broken into, where does that fall on the list of priorities for your officers?
So I don't know the priority number right now offhand. However, it is a priority, especially if we see that there's multiple calls coming in from that location. That would up the priority and get our officers there a little bit faster.
One more question.
A lot of these churches have RPD officers standing by for Sunday services. Quite brazen for these people to go into these parking lots.
Yeah, so I can tell you personally, I actually work off duty at the church on Summit on Capitol Hills. And we direct traffic, we bring everybody in, but then at that point we go in and we're going to be performing security inside the service, right? So we're not really out in the parking lots all the time. However, we still do have that visual. We still have our police cars that are out there, and so we're using that as prevention as well. Yeah, so this is the summertime. You know, school is out. Chief Boyce, his strategic or his summer action plan. You know, we're trying to come up with different types of activities to keep juveniles busy. But I have kids. I'm sure there's people out here who have kids. When they have time on their hands, they tend to maybe get in a little bit of trouble. So all we're trying to do is just trying to keep them doing something more proactive instead of that boredom time where they're looking to fill with some negative stuff.